AURORA in that time frame, in that atmosphere, then maybe we see this go the long way. Game one, the draft is upon us. Once more, it's AP BREN versus AURORA, and if I'm not mistaken, it's AP BREN choosing blue.
Yeah, I think there have been some changes, at least within a week or just within a week of us not being able to see these teams perform. Back then, it was almost always the Selena either being in the bans or in the picks. And AP BREN is one of those teams who decided to go with Selena for 2 games straight, the last time which they played. But now we can see that there has been a difference, that teams have been learning from all the previous games in which Selena has been participating. And so I am leaning towards the possibility that AP BREN, in this match, they come in with a different mindset, with a different game plan.
Yeah, and hopefully that game plan means they're not picking up Selena. I think that's a good place to start, and maybe see a different roamer for Kakidot other than the high loss, and make sure that it's tough. They have so many things that they want to do, or that they need to do up against AURORA, but hopefully they prioritize the matchup here for Der especially, because nothing good is going to go in the map if the EXP lane is going to get shut down hard, and Der needs a very favorable matchup against Edward. If it's possible for AP BREN, pick up CC as one of the first 3 picks in their draft.
Would you go as far as saying blue 1 CC because Suyo and Joy are open?
Not blue 1 at all. Blue 2 to 3. Suyo and Joy definitely as one of your first picks here.
One or the other, James Banks.
Yep, James Banks. I don't know if I'm feeling that he's much more comfortable with the Suyo rather than the Joy, or at least basing it off from last week's series in which we've seen him play. So they will be deciding to pick up the Suyo instead of the Joy. Now, AURORA, on the other hand, the Harith Granger is still available too. They can decide to pick whichever they want.
Do you go Joy Granger? There's no way you go Joy Harith.
Yeah.
You're asking for it.
Yeah, it's just going to be one or the other. I'd want to see the Joy pick up the 3rd, and then...
oh yeah, there's no rush.
Yeah.
But again, teams have done that. Teams don't care.
True. They're more okay with it now because they'd rather see other matchups. I think they should save the Renegade picks for later in the draft. So maybe pick up a flex Edward pick like a Gatot. Because you can also put that in the hands of Renegade. And then for the another power pick maybe. But they go Joy Granger instead. They just go for the pure... Well, this is what we were talking about earlier, Burst. AURORA wants Burst, so they got the 2 burstiest heroes in the jungle and in the gold.
The Kite brothers are flying, man.
Yeah.
The Badang's still open too, since you've mentioned something along the lines of flex. But then AP BREN for now will be getting the Suyo Harith duo. I think that's look at how we're seeing the jungler gold duos immediately.
Yeah.
Do you go CC here?
Yeah, I'd want to see them pick up the CC, but I think they have to watch out for Cho for Renegade, and AP BREN might be considering actually taking that away already, because Kakidot has shown to be proficient with the Cho in the past.
Yeah, and I don't like the CC into the Granger or the Joy together, not like this.
Oh, so it's the Badang instead.
Which we don't know for sure where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, it is a flex, but most Badang so far have been EXP.
So they're putting this much on there right now.
Yeah, which is so... kind of weird for me. Like, the CC is still there.
That is the MDL Season 4 Grand Finals MVP.
True.
And one of the more veteran players of AP BREN. Again, he's been here since Season 6? Season 7? So, a veteran in many ways. I think they're just saying, yeah, just give it to me, man. Just give it to me.
Oh, there you go.
AURORA closing up their first phase with a Cho.
Yeah.
All right, the Hitman's cooking.
Yeah. 70% win rate for Cho for this season so far, by the way. Cho's been flying as well.
75?
And that's with just 70%. And that's with different roles. It's been Roam and it's been EXP.
Yeah. So now we are yet to see the mid lane choices for both of these teams, but there has been a lot of attention put into, for AURORA at least, some of the options for 12 Skirt. So now they take out... what else could be interrupting and denying this lineup so far for AURORA? Something that I mean, they have the Badang, but like...
Kakidot might just end up playing the high loss again, which I would not be a fan of here. But in terms of like the safest pick possible, I think they would just think about that. But then that makes the mid lane pick all the more important. You're not going to play an Eve anymore if you're Chov skirt. So you might end up with something along the lines of Vixana if it's available for him. Or if it,
For Sa, if you want to outrange the Granger, hit him at least.
The Farsa too.
Yep.
Yep. Although you will be playing that into the Cho and the Joy.
Yeah. And if you're a high loss, you can only poke like one dude.
Where are the Vixanas of the world these days?
Yeah.
What happened?
Where are the Auroras of the world?
Yeah.
Aurora, I get. She's such a specific utility pick that naturally the world just, pushed her out. But Vixana, though, Vixana was one of Aurora's favorites.
Yeah, and even for like Few, for instance, he was one of the players to really use the Vixana every single time or as much as possible back in SPS, but entering MPL, right?
Yeah.
He's been using different heroes, even the Veil earlier.
I just realized AP BREN can actually lean into a Sicilian pick if they want to. But then they need a really big control roam here.
Like a big wall is the hunk of meat.
Oh, they banned out the Valentina though.
You know what? I would not be so remiss for a Ruby pickup for AP BREN. They can go for a Ruby roam, but then their mid laner, Sicilian, yeah, but then that's when you'd think about the Farsa already for AP BREN, even though they're playing it into a Joy and a Cho.
Yeah. So just to have a little bit more ways to stop, like an additional stopper. There's the Badang already though, but the Ruby would help a lot. I mean, in buying some time and letting just Shizu do his thing later on. But will they really opt to go for that kind of roamer though? I mean, it works well against the Cho too, so...
Yeah. Aurora might consider Edith and a Vixana as their last two picks.
Edith's still one of Edward's best picks in the game. Aurora with a steal. There's the Farsa. Now what you gonna do? AP BREN outranged.
Yeah. The Ruby reminds me of the Kufra too, like in theory, the bouncing ball and how it's able to stop all that.
No, but Kufra. Why not Kufra, right?
Yeah, so...
Against the Cho, the Joy, the Farsa, I wouldn't mind a Kufra for AP BREN.
Even the Granger, if you can catch him, he's stuck.
Yeah,
so if they're thinking of roam, where's Kufra would be great.
Yeah.
And then Vixana, just paired up with the Vixana.
I mean, that's a lot of ways to... Oh, okay.
Okay, they go for the Jawhead Suyo combo, but...
Which, by the way, is fun and good, but...
Hope will find a way.
It's...
Even when all is
So it's a
forlorn.
Vixana.
We were looking for the Vex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edith.
Paint me skeptical. I just don't know how to read AP BREN's draft right now, especially in the order that it got revealed to us.
I think like they can make a lot of things happen, even with just the Vixana Jawhead, the Vixana Badang, or either of these heroes combined. But
My mission is to
Yeah, they go for the solid wall instead. I mean, Edith could have been that.
Excuse me, is that a flex?
It's an EXP high loss.
EX.
Yeah,
they didn't.
they're keeping the roam Cho because they're just anchoring one lane and then they're just gonna be aggro to go to the gold lane. They're gonna pressure Shizo. One thing I'm gonna say about AP BREN, you know what their lineup reminds me of? That is the lineup of an RG bully 5-man. It's like you and your friends getting together, just picking up heroes that would mess up anyone that you're gonna go up against. That's what you get, but it's it's not disconnected.
Yeah,
But it's like a one-for-all type of deal. Like, every one of them can shine, but how they meld that together into like a working 5-man lineup is the biggest question.
Especially that last pick, Jawhead. That was one of those.
Yeah.
I've done this several times, folks. We're in. Can we bully them? Yeah, let's just end quickly. Pick the Jawhead. So it comes down to this. One more look at the draft and their index. And yeah, again, numbers-wise, AP BREN are ticking off the right boxes. But in execution, can they get one over Aurora, end that streak? Game 1 is upon us. Let's get into the Land of Dawn. Once more, the closer for day 1, week 2. It's AP BREN versus Aurora Gaming.
Yeah, I wonder what the idea for AP BREN is, even prior to heading into this match. Is it like trying to also go in for the team fights up against the Aurora, or trying to focus on being a team fight centric kind of team, or more on the objective kind of focus? Because for Aurora, at least, that seems like they're the objective type of team so far, especially when they went up against Onyx.
Yeah, so far James Banks will be able to get the first litho of the game. Demon Kite started purple, going for a topside rotation in terms of the emblems. Nothing too fancy, although triple ruptures on the side of Aurora. So
Penetrasi.
yeah, they get the penetrasi, and that means that they balance out the potential snowball, end the game fast mentality of AP BREN with their jawhead roam, with their own surprise sources of early burst with penetration.
Yep.
Which again, I think is more reliable. Oh, dear Lord. Talk about proving me wrong right at the second. The hitman just got hit.
Yeah, he finds himself against the Jawhead Suyo combo, which you've mentioned, and on top of that, it's the Vixana there too. So like, it's so hard to fight back against these three. If they focus on this three-man rotation consistently, they might be able to just pressure and keep taking control of the map.
Yeah, you get really introspective against a lineup like that. If you do definitely find yourself.
All right. Turtle spawned, upper quarter. First of the scene is AP BREN. It looks like Aurora are just letting it happen. Look, they're just checking.
Those are a lot of well-timed deathly grabs coming in from Chov's Kurt. And the Aurora don't get to contest. Oh, wait.
Whoa.
Oh! Down bottom, bombing kite nearly falls up against Shizu.
The Silent Kid clapping back. Aurora. Oh, Renji again!
Oh, for the second time in a row, they find a kill onto Renegade.
And an uncharacteristic approach to the post-turtle take.
Yeah.
Aurora have nothing on the board. This is, they're playing like a team I've never met.
Yeah, right now it's just Demon Kite farming around the map. Aurora might be waiting for their timers, but look again, the aggression, the three-man rotation of the Jawhead, Suyo, and the Vexana together. They're just being aggressive, setting the tempo, and I think Aurora might have actually sort of folded in the early game just somewhat. They're acknowledging the fact that AP BREN can snowball and run away with this if they're not careful. So now they're just like, all right, I think we're just going to wait for our timers. We'll try to get some things, but Aurora might just be looking at 6-8 minutes into the game before they really start fighting back.
Yeah, the three-man rotations were already interesting enough, but even when it came to the gold lane, Shizu was able to take or get an advantage against Dominkite. So it was a very unusual turn of events for Aurora.
So across the map, you can say it's all AP BREN, up by 1,000 gold, 3.5 minutes in. One more go, the second turtle, all right? This is going to be the tell whether Aurora is willing to go toe-to-toe, forget the first 2 minutes, or if it definitely is just them hunkering down saying, yeah, we definitely dropped the ball.
Yeah.
After clearing out this mid lane minion wave, I'd want to see Chove's Kurt actually go closer to where Kekadot is right now. But they've sort of adjusted. They're sticking the mid laner and the EXP laner together. It's the Badang and the Vexana. That's a deadly duo. We saw TNC Pro Team shine with that against AP BREN. So they might be taking a page out of TNC Pro Team's book.
Yeah, and whoever decides to pass through this area has to be extra careful, and it's going to be Edward receiving the ejector and the deathly grasp. There is there to try and zone away the damage dealers, but that's a successful way of the dragon, but it might just be a punish. Renegade gets taken out, and so will Edward. Demon Kite trying to overturn, and he looks and gets James Paxson there. Dominkite is here as well to join the party, and it's a double kill for him.
Alas, the Prestige, the Magicians of Aurora reveal their grand plan. A trade of Edward for 4, and suddenly the Northern Lights take flight.
There is the clapback around the joy. Didn't take 6 to 8 minutes. It only just took the second turtle. And I will have to correct myself. AP BREN drafted the exact same lineup that they went up against. This is TNC's lineup in their game 1 against AP BREN. When Aurora are actually running a lineup similar to the one that they played in that game 1 against TNC Pro Team. So literally they took a page from TNC Pro Team's book, but then this time they didn't get what, in that scenario, TNC Pro Team was getting knockups and crowd control onto Demon Kite. They weren't able to disrupt Demon Kite's rotation as well. So come the second turtle, Aurora was more encouraged to actually be aggressive, fight it out, and that's exactly what they did.
Let me take that beat and just switch it up a little. Release the same song. Now suddenly Aurora's up 2,000 gold and across the map, the last raider ruining things. Domestik gets sandwiched by 2.
But there's a trade for Demon Kite up top. He will take a turret, but that is very unfortunate for Aurora. So we still see, in some ways, how AP BREN can really work around with their hero synergies. They can make a lot of things happen regardless of who they decide to pair up all across the map.
Yeah, if Aurora wants lineups with Burst, well, AP BREN also has a lineup with Hella Burst. Except this time around, AP BREN aren't able to stop the jungler of Aurora. And they're going to need to start timing their ejector tosses, fist breaks into fist cracks, plus the Eternal Guard of the Vexana. Because if you time those very well, you really conserve it, you mess up any Joy entry that wants to happen.
All right, if of those 3, I think it's down to Dare. Dare has the best way to stop Demon Kite on this rampage. Choveskirt has to put himself in danger. Keket has to go through all the meat that Renegade and Edward can present. So if it's really just to take down Demon Kite, we gotta watch out for Dare. And currently, Dare has been... the fights have been walking up to him. He hasn't been looking for them himself.
Yeah, and we saw a glimpse of that when he was able to create an opening for AP BREN, nearly punishing and winning the first team fight, which we saw happen. But Renegade gets to find James Pax, but still James Pax with the retribution secures the turtle. There will be the first to fall instead. Kekedot and Tizu as well. 3 members are down for AP BREN. No, make that 4.
A better trade than they found in the last turtle. It's 4 for none. Sure, take the major objective. We'll run through the map. Aurora now up by almost 3,000. And they'll take permanent objectives on the map. They're bullying James Banks!
Oh, Edward just stood up in front of it and brought out the A. It's obvious now what the problem is for AP BREN. Again, it's Demon Kite. It's the Joy. It's the late entry.
He's literally a wall at this point, just standing in front of the faces of AP BREN, and in just a blink of an eye, they've already taken down all Tier 1 turrets away from AP BREN, even slowly starting to work their way to the Tier 2s.
My God, Demon Kite's about to build the Holy Crystal already.
Oh no.
Oh, he just got it.
At under 8 minutes, there it is. Ye of little faith, me included. Aurora was just biding their time for the perfect moment, setting up for Demon Kite. 1/2 of the Kite brothers. Hell, Domestik is having a good match himself.
Yeah, all of the kills we saw onto Renegade were just like them accepting the fact that the early probably wasn't as precise as they could have gotten it to be, but it didn't mean that they let go of the game entirely.
That's what I love about Renegade amongst 3 million other things. The hitman can take a hit. He knows when it's the right play to make, and he's ran this through the team. He's ran it through their manager. He's ran it through their 2 coaches, their life coach, even Boss Rada. Hey, boss, I'm gonna take the hits the first two times, and then we're gonna give it to DK. Then we're gonna give it over to the other DK. Well, 3 times actually. So far, that's what earned them this almost 5K gold lead.
Again, AP BREN already, with this lineup, they have all the tools they can to counter-engage of Aurora. They really just need to hold on it a little bit better and focus, change their mindset to, guys, number 1, can we conserve to take down Demon Kite? Number 2, get out of the feathered airstrike of the Farsa.
Yep. And now they have to find a way to position themselves, even despite Aurora already almost taking control of the entire area. I mean, look at where Renegade is.
That's right. They can rotate almost with impunity. Just 2 turrets left for AP BREN out of their base. Tier 2 bottom, Tier 2 mid. And so far, I said this before, I'll say it again. This is a really bad situation for a Jawhead when you're on the defense.
Yeah. All potential early snowball gone already. Well, top and bottom minion waves also not favorable for AP BREN. No one's managing it. They're just standing around. They need to be sending more bodies, showing themselves, clearing out those minion waves to somehow get more information out of Aurora.
They find Dare. Dare's the only man so far trying to get some information. So is Kekedot though, but he's trying to reserve his skills a little bit more. His abilities, which are very crucial. We've seen him use the ejector to throw away an unwanted target. But at least he has the flicker to go near, and that's exactly what I mentioned. He goes in and picks off Renegade.
but I don't know if it's worth it. That is a pickoff on a roamer. They trade up for one. Glorious Pathway set down by Edward.
And the roamer on the other side will be the trade too. Dare trying to buy some time. He gets to throw away the members of Aurora, but that doesn't stop them from picking off 2 members.
Not just 2 kills, even 2 flickers away from AP BREN.
And they have to concede this with no frontliners. They back off, and Aurora gets the first Lord of the game.
Another one. Renegade says, do it, do it, do it. I can take it.
It's fine, it's fine. It's all part of the plan. It's the clapback, it's the counter, and the MPL veterancy right now of Aurora just shining over AP BREN.
Now they might have to say goodbye to their tier 2 turrets. Aurora will definitely work their way. There goes the feathered airstrike.
Yikes.
Edward and Renegade, enforcers, bodyguards pushing away any sort of resistance from Aurora. They will take down tier 2, so there's just 1 left in mid.
Yeah, I know you mentioned something about getting out of the feathered airstrike first, but what if it's so well positioned and that it isn't necessarily there to engage in a fight? They're just getting what they want to get away. And look at that damage! Dom and Kite!
That's why we call him the next standard. Well, one of the reasons.
Oh my goodness. How does AP BREN defend this? They still have the holy shields in their mid and bottom lane turrets, but the Hitman's about to look for a target. They get to zone away there, and James Banks as well, slowly gaining access towards the base. But these are 5 members that they will potentially go up against, so they decide to stay disciplined and disengage.
2 big demolition projects for Aurora. Top and mid inhibitors have fallen. 8K gold up 12 minutes in. AP BREN are in shambles. Where does the comeback come from? They can't even hide in their own base. There's no bushes there.
Yeah, they're going to have to just show up. Kekadot has to take the Renegade mentality of, all right, I can take it, but actually just try to take it.
Oh, Glorious Pathway to the way of the dragon, and there's a beautiful counter and set from there! James Banks actually takes out Dominic Kite and Yue, but Demon Kite, unstoppable, gets shut down by James Banks, the man with a million moves!
My goodness, there! Coming up big with the flicker, fist break into the fist cracked, and this game is cracked open for AP BREN.
It's like he was born again. The man without fear, the daredevil, buys back possibly the game for AP BREN.
They might just be able to take down all the mid lane turrets. Dominic Kite has 6 seconds to respond. Yue will be there too, but in just a blink of an eye, they got to actually almost equalize the map.
The man with no fear helped set it up for the man with a million moves to clear it up.
Let's see that again, all right? It could have been an end angle. They come in almost perfect everything, even started up with a kick, and then look at there. Oh!
That's what we're talking about. The Badang Vixana combo. Chovskirt was looking at it, and exactly, Kekadot was like, I can take this. I will try to take this. And Dare said, let me make sure that your sacrifice doesn't go in vain. My God!
I don't think Yue and Dominic Kite will stick together after that
Oh, yeah, for sure.
anymore.
Not like that, not in the same way. So suddenly, AP BREN pulling out one from behind, from under the sleeve, from in your ear. A trick that nobody expected. They shrank that goal lead down to 1,000, and I'll be damned. Maybe this is a contestable Lord.
Yeah, they had Aurora looking over here when they should have been looking over there.
When Dare has the flicker, I think you need to play it extra safe. But speaking of, they spot out Dare and take him out first.
Oh, Dare God. No, he's back.
But Shizu from behind. This seems like no Silent Kid. He's dancing around the members of Aurora.
What?
Demon Kite.
No!
Wow! Edward goes next. That's 2 for 1.
What is happening? AP BREN. Damn!
Shizu should have been squished, but he survived that sandwich.
He danced and he was making Aurora dance to his tune. Now AP BREN gets the second Lord of the game.
Like a kid.
Unless.
Renegade with a sacrifice, but Demon Kite was a bit too late.
Like a kid hopped up on Nesquik. He couldn't be stopped. He was just dashing over and over again, and it's all falling apart for Aurora. What's going on?
I can't believe we're starting the week like this. Oh my goodness, now the Lord is in AP BREN's hands.
I mean, I'm getting what I asked for AP Brent to show why they were so hyped up heading into the MPL. Aurora, they're one of the top 2 teams after week 1, and now Aurora are in the red, but AP Brent barely have any minion waves in the sides. It's only the mid.
This is an evolved Enhanced Lord coming in.
Oh, okay, Dot misses the flicker ejector play, but Edward, can he sustain all this?
That's bad.
That's the damage being soaked up by Edward, but he sustains everything, and Aurora now goes for the counter play. Oh, the quick interruption, fist break from Dare, but the Death Sonatas are reaching him, but he's still too fast. They can't chase after him. Oh no, Dare, will he be caught by the Hitman?
All right, the Hitman lets off. You survive for now. Suddenly Aurora are back in it. Despite that mid-lane siege, AP Brent couldn't finish the job. Aurora back on the offense.
AP Brent should not have forced that. Kekedot missed his flicker ejector. He was trying to reach Domicat, but that was way too risky.
Oh no, now there goes the Feather Dare Strike once more. Renegade forcing James Panks to move away. That's the glorious pathway already expended by Aurora too.
Habun Jingjing a little too feisty. There was no one to catch there. Reminds me of that very first glorious pathway he's cast this game. All right, so far I think the key for both teams is to collect yourselves, regroup, because the past, 2 or 3 minutes have been high-octane, intense, back-to-back brawls.
Not gonna lie, at this point I was already expecting to do the post-game analysis. I'm glad we're not at that point, that we're just seeing action. Again, Kekedot tried to go after Dominkite. The moment he missed that, that was already worst-case scenario for AP Brent. Well, to be fair, worst-case scenario is them getting wiped out and losing the game. That didn't happen, but that's where you see the lack of MPL experience, I guess, because they had nothing in the side lanes. They really thought that they could force and end it with just that push alone. Yes, they were able to actually bring the base down to like 60% health, but again, that's a way too risky. Think about your side lanes first.
Yep, and James Panks just swapped items too. He had a Winter Crown earlier, but now he's on the Queen's Wings. So it's just chop. Oh, there he go. He picks it up again.
He can start juggling.
He's
juggling
starting
items now,
juggling now.
Just keeps up the economy and then just buys what's necessary.
Yeah.
So far, that's what AP Brent are doing, Renmar. I think they're listening to you. They're trying to get some side lane push in, so it's not just all about the all-in. But I get it. From where AP Brent is standing, that's the first time in 15 minutes that they were actually on the offense.
Yeah.
So they needed to really just get it in there, because, again, Kekedot needs to be in the driver's seat. He needs to set up.
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching 18. We're nearing the 20-minute mark, so the death timers are aren't going to be that short anymore. They're
That's
actually going to be very, very long.
That's
so
a Megalordmon right now.
yeah.
I wonder who's going to be the first to check that Shrubber on the mid. If AP Brent can find Yue, that's best case scenario.
Oh, concealed by Kekedot, setting up the ejector on Edward.
Okay, they decide to go for Edward, but he is going to be tanky. That's the glorious pathway too, slowing down some of the members of AP Bren.
Yeah.
So resources here and there being burned.
An episode of hesitation from both.
Oh! But this doesn't feel like any sort of hesitation from Kekedot. Edward this time around doesn't have the glorious pathway, but there's a counter setup from Renegade. They pick off Dare in exchange of Edward. 2 XP laners once again.
But the minion waves, Demon Kite clearing in the mid. That was a great bait play by AP Brent. They baited out the glorious pathway and feathered airstrike. Then they repositioned. Then Kekedot went forward. He didn't use the unstoppable force in the last scenario. He just used the conceal, showed himself, used the ejector, and nothing else. That's why AP Brent find themselves in this situation.
Wait, Demon Kite, he isn't here yet. But that's a successful zone from Aurora, unless...
They're still holding on this Lord. Now the third of his health, they pop the immortality of Kekedot.
Okay, Shizu now, this is his time to shine. But is this too much to dance in the front of 2 members? He has to outplay everyone. James Beck secures the objective as well, and Renegade is just running for his life.
Run, Renegade, run! The silent kid has become a silent killer.
And in the mid lane is the man with a million moves with him as well.
So we were talking about the Jungle Gold duos, and it seems like this time around they want to be the ones to shine. Edward alone successfully takes down the minion guard, but